Welcome to episode 8 of Locke Loses at Pokémon. Today I will be piloting Yveltal-EX. Yveltal-EX, his attack, Evil Ball, is one of the most energy efficient attacks in the game. Evil Ball does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokémon, and then an additional 20 damage on top of that. Now, obviously this takes a little bit of time to get set up, so the way my particular list does that is by the standard use of Yveltal non-EX, whose attack Oblivion Ring allows you to attach dark energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokémon, and Seismitoad-EX, which we have seen several times before in this series. His attack Quaking Punch does a small amount of damage and prevents your opponent from playing item cards from his or her hand during their next turn. Seismitoad is in this deck to slow down the game long enough to get Yveltal looking like a Death Star with his Evil Ball. For support, we run Darkrai-EX, whose ability Dark Cloak allows any Pokemon with dark energy attached to it to retreat for free. Jirachi-EX, who lets us search for a supporter when he comes into play. And a 2-2 Garbodor line. Garbodor's ability Garbotoxin shuts off all Pokemon abilities except his if he has a tool attached to him. So, here's Trubbish, from whom he evolves. Between Garbodor and Seismitoad, we can slow down the game long enough to get Yveltal set up, or we can use non-EX Yveltal to accelerate the game a little bit and attack early. So we have multiple prongs of attack in this deck. It's one of the reasons that this is a Tier 1 deck and that it is so good. Our A-Spec this time around is going to be Dowsing Machine, which lets us discard 2 cards from our hand to put a trainer card from our discard pile into our hand. 2 Bicycles for draw power. Also for draw power, we run 2 Colress, 3 N, 1 Professor Birch's Observations, and 4 Professor Sycamore. Filling out the bench, we also have Lysander, 2 copies, 4 copies of Hypnotoxic Laser, which poison our opponent's active Pokemon and maybe even puts them to sleep, which we combine with Veerbank City Gym to do 30 damage to a poisoned Pokemon in between turns. We run 1 Professor's Letter to fetch energy, 2 energy switches to move our dark energy from Pokemon who are not Yveltal-EX onto Pokemon who are Yveltal-EX, 1 copy of Switch, 3 copies of Ultra Ball, and an Escape Rope, which forces our opponent to switch their active Pokemon with 1 on the bench, and then we get to do the same after they make their choice. Item-wise, we're going to run 2 Float Stones, which allow Pokemon to retreat for free. That will be one of the tools that we can attach to Garbodor without having to sacrifice Muscle Bands for it. And of Muscle Bands, we run 4. Muscle Band is good for pretty much anything we have in our deck, because if that's all we have to put on Garbodor to activate Garbotoxin, so be it. We have 3 more. It makes Quaking Punch a 50 damage attack instead of 30, so instead of just control, Seismitoad actually becomes a formidable offensive force. And it makes Evil Ball even more ridiculous than it already is. Energy-wise, we're going to run 4 Double Colorless and 8 Dark Energy. So that is Yveltal-EX. Let's go lose with it. Oh, we're fighting Gum Dragon again. We saw him in a previous episode of Locke Loses at Pokémon. Okay, so we have a pretty strong Seismitoad opening hand. We've got the double colors, we've got the muscle band, so we can start the lock on turn 2. And that is going to be our play, because obviously we have no other Pokemon in hand. And he starts off with Landorus, which is bad for him, because Landorus is weak against water. So Quaking Punch is going to do 100 damage to him on turn 1. Assuming, of course, that he doesn't end me. At which point, we then have to change our strategy up. No, it doesn't look like he's got in. Oh, he's got Karina, which is almost worse. Depending on what item he gets. If he has Team Flare gear, that's going to shut us down a little bit. A computer search. Yep, he's going to empty his hand to get... what? He's already played a supporter for the turn. Okay. Muscle band. Double colorless. Now, with only one card in hand for my opponent, I'm hesitant to use N because he's going to drop to 6, but he will lose whatever he just tutored for, and I have to use N because I need more Pokemon. That's just all there is to it. So, let's go ahead and use this Hypnotoxic Laser so it doesn't go to waste. Maybe even put him to sleep. Yeah, he's going to go to sleep. Nice. And now we'll use N and see what happens. Alright, well, we have a Pokemon. That is good news. We also have a whole bunch of energy we can't really do a whole lot with at the moment. So, let's begin the lock. 100 damage and Quaking Punch. Keep him from playing item cards. Ooh, bad luck for him. He remains asleep. Alright, he's going to Lysander up. Get Seismitoad off my bench. Not realizing that that's going to do him no good because I have Dark Energy. Well, he's already conceded. He knows what's up. Let's see if we can get another game in. Fairy and Psychic. I'm guessing a straight Fairy list with Mr. Mime support. We'll see if I'm right. As always, I'm going to choose Tails. And I actually get to go first. Neat. Do I want to go first? Yes, I want to go first. My opponent has no basic Pokemon. There's the Aromatisse and the Fairy Garden. Silent Lab? That's an interesting choice. Okay. I can start with Seismitoad, but if I don't see energy, then that is going to be a bad call. But yeah, I can't really have Seismitoad in my opening hand and not start with him. Start with them both on the bench. Okay, yeah, this looks pretty good, I have to say. Let's get Yveltal down. I can't really use my Professor's Letter yet, so let's Ultra Ball, discard Dark Energy because I can get it back with Yveltal, and let's discard the Laser. To get something we have to play immediately because we're going to use N. Get another Toad on the bench. And in a way. Let's go double colorless. Ooh, yuck. No double colorless. Alright, let's fill out our bench with Darkrai. And put a Dark Energy on Seismitoad, I guess. Not the greatest thing ever. Yeah. That's the turn. I'm not going to use Hypnotoxic Laser yet because I may or may not use Dowsing Machine next turn. I don't know if N's going to be better for me than Sycamore depending on what he does with his first turn. Alright, he's discarded the Lysander, so that tells me to expect Versus Seeker soon. Alright. It's going to be a moot point anyway because he just used N. Discard a Juniper and a... okay. So this discard pile is now full of supporters. I'm going to grab a Garbodor-EX. Okay. You know, I would like to get a double colorless energy. I really would. But I think the smart thing to do here is to item lock him now and play the slow game. I'm going to save my Burbank City gym in case he drops a Fairy Garden so that I can override it. Yeah, I guess the play right now is simply just to slow the game down, use some Quaking Punch. Yep, and there's the Fairy Garden. And that's going to go. With Fairy Garden in play, he can retreat anybody with Fairy Energy for free, and even as a backup, you can use Keldeo's ability to rush in. So he has options for days. Okay. So, as promised, let us kill that Fairy Garden. I want to put a Dark Energy on Yveltal. Because I'm about to discard some Dark Energy and I want to be able to get it back. So yeah, now's the time. Let's dump this hand. See if we can get a Muscle Band, maybe? Hypnotoxic Laser. Either of those would be good. Muscle Band is nice. Let's see. He's going to get one turn to with his Xerneas to ramp Fairy Energy, so, and he can just rush in, so poisoning him now is not the play, so I'm not going to Dowsing Machine for the Hypnotoxic Laser yet. That'll be next turn. Now I just do 50 damage and pass. And of course continue the item lock. With the item lock in play, his Versus Seekers are useless, so long as I can keep Seismitoad going, I do not really have to care what supporters are in his discard pile. There's the Fairy Energy. Ooh, Silent Lab. Okay, so Darkrai-EX no longer has an ability. Ah, we're getting End. Is End going to hose me like he always does? Yes, but it could be worse. Alright, so he has done his Fairy Ramp. Alright, I'm going to play Garbodor. Garbodor is not a basic Pokemon, so Silent Lab does squat against it. So now, at this point, nobody has abilities. Alright, I think what I probably do here is simply Cold Rest for 9. There's nothing in this hand that I absolutely have to have. Yeah, so I'd rather look at 9 new cards. There's my Dowsing Machine back. There's Double Colorless. There's Burbank City Gym. Let's see. I want to knock out Xerneas now, and here's how I do that. Burbank City Gym. Dowsing Machine. We're going to discard N, and I can't discard Switch because Darkrai. His ability's... No, his ability's not shut off at the moment. Yeah, so I can discard Switch. Get a Hypnotoxic Laser. Laser Xerneas. I don't care if he sleeps or not. He's going to die this turn. Alright, now let's start working our primary attacker, Yveltal. Double Colorless Energy, Muscle Band. And now we are going to do 50 damage and then 30 more in between turns. And there is Xerneas, and that is the end of his energy ramping. With no abilities in play, I'm guessing that if he has an energy in hand, Mewtwo-EX is who's going to come up, because he has an X-Ball, which is just like Yveltal-EX's Evil Ball, except 20 points weaker. And I have to note, more accessible because it's only 2 double colorless, so you can literally run Mewtwo-EX in any deck you want. Alright. Alright. And it's going to get us one more card than we previously had. Oh, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. So, options. Let's attach Yveltal-EX. Evil Ball at this point is doing 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 40, 50, 60, 70. I can one-shot Mewtwo-EX now, but that will allow him to play item cards again. And I'm not sure that that is something I want to do. However, I cannot continue my current course with Seismitoad, at least not now, because Mewtwo will kill him. Make sure I've done my math one more time before I make this switch. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, and then 30, yes. Alright, we are going to retreat Seismitoad-EX for free. Bring up Yveltal-EX. Or do I want to kill Gardevoir? No, I want to get as much fairy energy in his discard pile as possible, so this is still the play. Laser! And Evil Ball. I don't care if he wakes up because he's knocked out. Muzzle Band and a Trubbish. One of those two things is presently useful to me. At this point, we have a dominant board position. Now, that may change because he can play item cards once again. And if he ends me, I'm down to 3 cards. Which is probably going to be what happens because he can use Versus Seekers now. So, basically, my board position is what I've got. Yveltal-EX, that's interesting. Why? Well, he probably doesn't have energy in hand. No, he's got energy in hand. Look at that. If he doesn't end me, I can kill his Gardevoir. I can knock out his Gardevoir next turn. Alright. I want to make sure my math is correct. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. Yep. Let's do it. Let's put a muscle... No, let's save our muscle band just in case he has a megaphone. So instead, we are going to use Lysander to bring up Gardevoir-EX. We're going to poison Gardevoir-EX. And Evil Ball the bejesus out of him. Oh, crap! Gardevoir-EX has Dark Resistance. Okay. I failed to take that into consideration in my math. That was a mistake. So now he has the option to play items, and Gardevoir is not... Oh, crap! Garbatoxin's not active. Oh, I'm a fool. I'm a fool. I'm a fool. Oh, that blows. Yeah, okay. Well, if Garbotoxin is active, then I lose Dark Cloak. Yeah. I don't think I can knock out Keldeo this turn. So, is my plan to go back to the Seismitoad lock until I figure things out? Alright, let's cancel that. Yeah. 20, 40, 60, 80 damage. I don't have nearly enough to do what I need to do. So... N is worthless to me now. Let us go ahead and retreat Yveltal and bring up Seismitoad again. Now let's activate Garbotoxin. And how many cards do I have left? 17? I think Professor Birch's observations is better than Professor Sycamore at this point. I don't want to deck myself. Alright, I'm drawing 7 anyway. Escape Rope. I did not get a Lysander. I did not get a Versus Seeker. So... guess what we're doing? We are maintaining our item lock. Fairy Garden is back in play. So you can retreat for free now. Is there anything for me to do other than continue my item lock at this time? There's no point in getting a Pokemon with Ultra Ball. I think we can thin my deck a little bit. No, I can't. We are out of energy. Yes, we continue our lock for one more turn, see if we can get a Lysander in one turn, and if we can't, then so be it. Yep, he did not get the energy he needed, looks like. Jirachi, that's ironic. 60... I can two-shot Keldeo, just doing what I'm doing. Yeah, I think that's the play for now. And then I can Escape Rope and use Yveltal. Unless he gets a Fairy Energy and can retreat Keldeo, in which case this game... Yeah, no. Thankfully, Garbatoxin is right now shutting off Aromatiz's Fairy Transfer ability, so he can't move the Fairy Energy to retreat him. So, our play, I can see the ending. We knock out Keldeo with Seismitoad, continue our item lock, and then Escape Rope and kill whatever he brings up with Yveltal next turn. The victory is ours. Barring something super interesting. Okay. It's time to math. Do I delay one more turn? Yeah, and then 160 when I use Energy Switch. Let's go ahead and use Energy Switch now, just in case we get end. Where's my double colorless? I have no double colorless in my discard pile. How many cards do I have left in my deck? I have 12. I have one double colorless in play, two, so no less than 2 double colorless within my last 12. Okay, so I can either Escape Rope now, and then Professor Sycamore, praying that I get double colorless, or no, that's too tricky. Let's keep the lock going, and then next turn we'll win. Okay, yep. Laser. Oh, I can't retreat Seismitoad this turn. Dang, I used the laser on the wrong thing. I'm still doing 160 damage. Yeah, let's keep the lock going. One more turn. I used the laser prematurely. If he draws into Fairy Energy, he can retreat Xerneas. I can't retreat my Seismitoad because Dark Cloak is shut off by Garbatoxin, and I don't have enough energy to retreat him, honestly. My opponent's taking a bit. He must have drawn something interesting. No? Okay. Alright. So now I can one-shot anything on the board. Escape Rope. Oh, crap. Nope, no, I can't. I cannot. If he brings up the Gardevoir... With a dark resistance, he will survive a turn. Why am I so bad at math? Yep. So now I have to do math again. Oh no, he did the math for me and he conceded. Oh, thank God, I didn't want to have to figure out if I won that or not by having to do math again. Oh well. So, you can see why this is a Tier 1 deck. It has just so many avenues of attack. It really is amazing. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.